everybody. Welcome to our post show.
The show
You
after
guys
the
should
show.
know who we are now. Yeah, you should know who we are by now. I mean, we're amazing. Otakucast. I might be hyped up on the energy drink that
I mean,
Bio, aka Colette, brought
seems
me
more
in
like you're
this
stalling.
cast.
Seems more like you're stalling. Hey,
Am
everybody,
I? Am I
welcome.
stalling? DC, could
We're
you tell me how I'm stalling?
we're doing the normal thing we do after every show. We're talking to you about the movie we watched for Anime Club this week.
Yes. And I was a
Vampire.
good noodle, and again, I took less notes. So I'm not going to keep you here for 40 minutes.
Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust.
Now, does
So
Vampire Hunter originate from a series? Was this a movie from a
yes,
series, or is it just a
Vampire
standalone?
Hunter D is a series. Yes,
Okay, see, I
yes.
I thought so, but I didn't want to be like, yeah, it's totally this thing that I just said
So
it isn't.
yeah, the movie basically follows a Dampier, aka a half vampire, half human, much like Blade, but I think Vampire Hunter D is actually older. I don't really remember exactly. Um, but pretty much Vampire Hunter hunting down a vampire. That's what he do. He's paid $500,000 in gold coins and $20 million if he can succeed at the job of hunting down the vampire and retrieving a rich man's daughter. So the movie pretty much follows him and another group of
Bounty hunters,
bounty hunters going after this vampire
which
as
are
they, yeah,
mostly human, I'm pretty sure.
uh, they're humans, and I think one's a psychic.
Is that what Grove was?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
yeah.
Okay, actually,
So
now that we're talking, I just okay. He was lying like prone, like cancer patient isk in a fucking bed inside
I
of their mobile tank.
what I think it was, because I haven't seen the series. What I think it
Neither have I.
was is that Grove is a psychic, and usually with like psychic powers, they take a toll on the body physically. Because he was
And then they
clearly,
like
yeah,
he couldn't use his power until they injected it with like LSD or something, and then he was God mode.
it was some kind of medicine that they injected him with.
Medicine that looked like a drug trip and a half. I tell you what, because
Well,
he
he
would like
didn't trip
astral
out.
project. He would astral project to the battlefield or wherever he was required to be, and kick some ass.
Yeah.
Like a lot of ass. They had like this meeting of like supernatural creatures, and he just went in there and wrecked everybody's shit.
But yeah, that's the basic premise of the movie, is that they're going after this
Yeah.
vampire who's stolen this girl. But later you find out that they're actually in love, and he wants to take her to the city beyond the stars, which for some reason requires a spaceship.
Vampires in space.
Yeah, I
Beat you
don't.
to it.
Yeah, no, I didn't. I don't. So yeah, that's the
Not like
basics of the movie.
space is not full of other stars that are either bigger or
Look,
smaller with
I don't.
varying degrees of intensity, like our own
I don't know.
sun. But
I don't know. I don't know. I just don't
space is
know.
full of stars.
I don't know. I don't
You
know.
would want to go underground, I think, would be your best bet, honestly. Just build a, underground Gurren Lagann type
Yeah,
vampire society.
yeah. You'd think. But anyways, so that was the basic premise of the movie. We follow
Okay,
Vampire Hunter D. Literally, that's his name.
I he's a Dampnir and his name is D, and I was like,
Yeah,
is anyone gonna actually say his name, or are they just calling him Dampnir? Is Dampnir his name and he goes by D because his parents couldn't be fucked to give him a name? I don't
he
know.
just goes
That's
by
his name,
D.
and it's not. I don't even think it's DEE. It's just
No, it's literally just
D,
the letter D. That's what he says.
like Dick, like vitamin D. I got it.
Yeah, his name is just D.
Look, huh?
Vitamin Vitamin Dampier.
Vitamin Dick, exactly. And tell you what, if it wasn't for the face on his hand, I would take some of that vitamin Dick. Can we shut the hand up? Why? That's
I
fine.
thought you liked weird. You liked it with Sukuna.
Look,
Is it just because
hey,
this weird
it
hand spirit's
talks.
old?
Shut up. Yes, and it's old. Okay. Since we're talking, he has Datara
It
hands. Okay, and
it was
Datara hands are even better
it
because they don't talk. They just have a mouth with tongues, which
it
I'd be okay
reminded
with.
me it reminded me a lot, like the dynamic reminded me a lot of Afro Samurai.
Let's be real. D talks so little throughout the movie that you actually need face hand for exposition
That's
of the story.
that's
Yeah.
what I mean. If you remember Afro Samurai, it was
Okay.
Afro didn't talk. Throughout the series, Afro didn't talk, but he actually was he was delusional because he had a imaginary ninja sidekick that followed him around that sort of acted as his conscience and would talk. And for series with
Gotcha.
a silent protagonist, you need the explanatory character.
You do.
Um, yeah, that's what
And look, the hand was, I
Mouthhand
gotta
was.
say, the hand was annoying, but it had its purpose more than just explanatory
It
character.
acted
It
like
was,
Moroku. It could swallow traps and
if the wind tunnel was sentient, then
yeah,
yes. May Kirby Merrow rest in peace, his
yeah.
English dub voice actor.
It
But
was
okay,
a
and
very interesting movie.
the whole, like, I enjoyed the movie as a whole. Honestly, it was one of the
Yeah,
better
for the
ones.
most part.
It
Yeah,
wasn't bad. It had a basic story. The plot wasn't all over the place. I understood what was going on in every scene, but there was lots of questions.
yes.
One of those questions, I'm going to just start at the top of my list here. Horses. The
Yeah,
fuck were
demon
those
horses.
things?
Well, I mean,
They
what was with the
some were
sand rays?
robot like, some were robot like, and so then the one was like a demon like, but they were all still horses. And then at one point, D loses his horse, and it like exploded, and there was guts inside of it, and I'm just like,
It was a demon horse. It clearly looked like a demon horse. But I think
that
that's just the
Dean's horse
world.
looked like a demon horse, but the carriage horses for the vampire dude looked
Look like
very
robots.
robotic. They had like cyclops
Yeah.
eyes, and
Well, I think
but they
it could be
had to drink
cyborgs.
water.
Could yeah. Well, like, cyborgs are uh
You're right.
living beings that are given mechanical elements, so it could be a cyborg
Unnecessary to put that much
or an
investment
android.
into a beast of burden.
Well,
Okay.
I mean, I don't know. It's the whole world seemed odd. Like I said, with the sand rays, the giant manta
Yeah.
rays.
What
Yeah,
about we're in the distant future, but it's also cowboy ish? Like
they're like
Trigun, they
yeah,
remind
yeah,
me of
like
the
Trigun.
Trigun world.
Yeah, distant future but cowboy. I mean, they had spaceships
It's
and everything
like, do
like
we
that. Yeah, it
just
was very
revert
interesting.
and fall back to cowboy? Is that the reversion there?
I guess I don't know. It was very weird. The world itself was very strange, very odd. There's I
One of
find that
our
there's like yeah.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say I
No,
find
go
that it's
ahead.
like there's like the demons all had interesting powers though. We had the three
The Baldurite
bodyguards,
characters.
the shadow
Oh
melder,
yeah.
the weird werewolf with a wolf mouth on his stomach when he
Dude,
transformed.
I don't know. When he fully transformed, his stomach was like, I
Yeah, I
don't
don't understand it. And then the hot girl that could meld into elements and become that element.
look. I don't know. I just had questions like glowy glowy murder boy. That was Grove, by the way.
Yeah, psychic.
And yeah, wolf mouth belly werewolf question mark.
No answer for you there.
And look, and then what happened to the melty iron lady? Like when she attacks the holy tank. LOL.
Yeah.
That's what's literally in
Yeah,
my
it
note.
was. I'm
The holy
I'm
the bounty hunters had like this fortress
yeah,
on wheels
yeah.
that she
Well,
attacks, and then when she
from
after the
what I
attack
could
she just
tell,
disappears.
well, yeah, because she can meld into the what I can notice is she can meld into things and take over that thing. Like when she melds into a tree, she takes over the tree and becomes tree-like. When she melded into the tank, she became metal-like. So I
Yeah,
understood that. I understood her power, but
yeah.
I
I
question
actually
I question
wanted.
the first scene actually.
Okay, go ahead. The
When
first scene.
the noble, which is what apparently they call natural born vampires or nobles.
Yeah,
Um when he goes into that town that was filled with crosses, literally you couldn't walk one step without finding a cross.
you
All
would
of the
think.
crosses just melted away or destroyed, and like him just walking into that lady's window caused the roses to dissolve. But when he was out riding about, the grass died.
You're right.
I don't
Maybe he was
understand.
exuding an aura at that point. I don't know.
I don't
And
know.
maybe
It
the
was weird.
crosses, he could dissolve them because, like, if we go back to Helsing, I remember at one point Alucard was warded off by someone holding the cross, and it was like, I don't remember which series it was. He was just like, yeah, it does nothing if there's no faith behind it. You're a weak man, so your faith is
Yeah,
weak. So it's weak. You're dead. Like, kind of thing. I don't know. I don't
yeah.
know. But
I don't know. It was weird. It was weird to me.
it was weird. And then I want to talk about when they get to when D loses his horse chasing after, because
Mm-hmm.
vampire dude kidnaps woman, takes her in the carriage, runs away.
Shadow Man binds horse, kills horse. Shadow Man traps D in cloth.
Yeah, pretty much. They get out, and then they're walking. Well, I say they, but it's really D carrying his saddle.
Hmm.
And
I don't know why he
honestly,
kept that saddle. It's
no, no,
weird.
no. Well, look, it's an old cowboy thing. Saddles are expensive. I actually have
Hmm.
some really old leather saddles out there. They were expensive. They were hard to make, hard to come by. And then once you rode your saddle enough, I have 3 horses outside. I know this. Once you rode it, it like you get grooves in it. Like it's your perfect butt groove. You don't want to lose that butt groove, man.
I think he could
But
afford a new saddle.
you're right. You're right. But
He
anyway,
doesn't eat or
I
sleep.
found it funny that the hand noticed the absence of the horse because you don't ever have in those movies like one of my favorite like I know it's not exactly the same but I wanted to bring it up was the Gunslinger novels by Stephen King, Roland of Gilead.
You
You
mean the
ever?
Dark Tower series?
Yeah, it's the
Yeah,
Doctor. I mean Dark Tower, not Gunslinger.
yeah.
I'm all hyped up on energy drink right now. Okay,
Gunslinger's the
leave me
first
alone,
book.
man. Yeah, you're right. But that just kind of gave me like this whole the man went across the desert during that scene. You know what I mean?
Well, he
It
was
was
definitely Vampire Hunter D is definitely the Man in Black. Yeah,
except for the Man in Black has a lot more of calamitous intent than
but yeah,
D
he's
does.
also the Man in Black was also Merlin. So
Yeah, you're right.
and the Red King.
But
It's very weird.
I still the ending of that series. I'm not gonna spoil it because
Yeah, it's weird.
woo,
So
woo,
so
woo, woo,
yeah,
woo.
so
Anyway,
there's a lot of
so
questions.
but in those kind of scenarios, normally a horse was just a transport vessel. But I found it humorous that the hand was like, "Damn it, I missed that horse." What was his
Mhm.
name anyway? I watched the dub once again. I don't know if that's what he said, but I
In the
imagine it
sub, he
was
doesn't
something
really
similar.
talk about the horse.
Does he not? Damn, because they were walking across the desert and the hand was just like, I missed
He
the
pr-
horse.
he pretty much
What
yeah,
was its name?
he only misses the horse because he doesn't want to walk through the desert. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, but it was still. If I found it humorous, and then I would also like to talk about when they get to the little village, the little outpost there at the
Oh,
desert,
with the old man.
and yeah, with the yeah, but he wants $300,000 for a damn horse, like, whoo! But then Deed's gonna pay it,
He just
but the whole
throws the
town,
He just
yeah,
throws him on the coin. Yeah.
he's like,
Well,
sure,
it's because Layla, her name is like Layla, the blonde haired girl that works for the bounty hunters, convinces the sheriff to turn. She's like, "Oh, there's someone stronger and worse than me coming to town."
there's a Dampnir. Yeah. She's
Yeah.
like, the Dampnir's on his way. And then the whole town, the sheriff confronts him, everything like that. And then I gotta say, the grumpy old man that ran where the
Pulls out a
stables and he was sitting there.
giant gun. Yeah, he pulls out a giant gun, guys. It is crazy big, and he threatens. He threatens the sheriff. That takes cojones to sit there and threaten the sheriff with a gun right up in his face and just like, I dare you to
Sorry.
move. I was
I
just telling
loved
about
it,
how,
honestly.
yeah, I was just telling about the old man put the gun in the sheriff's face. It was like, dude,
But
move! I dare you! I'll shoot you.
you find out the reason why the old
Yeah,
man did that is because
basically, a few
when
like many years ago, a dampener came because the town's 10 children were kidnapped, and the town hired the a vampire hunter to kill the nobles that kidnapped the children. He didn't just say noble; he said no bulls, multiple,
mm-hmm,
multiple nobles, and
mm-hmm,
he's like, he came to town, he killed all the nobles, saved the kids. I'm one of those kids
yeah, you find
because
and
I'll
then he
never
goes, look,
forget.
I'll never forget your face, Dampnir.
Yeah.
You were the one that saved me and all those other kids.
Now get
And so
out of
pretty
here. My
much
arms are getting
he
tired.
he holds the sheriff at freaking cannon point
Yeah.
until D saddles the horse and goes about his way. And I like that scene. That was a good scene. I enjoyed
That's
that.
really good.
And then like oh, okay. So we're gonna. My next note is fast forwarding to where vampires talk, or not vampire. D's talking to Catherine or whatever the heck the 17-year-old girl that was kidnapped was. What her
I
name
don't think they
was?
really gave us an age. They didn't really say an
Oh well,
age.
I think in the dub they did. But either way, if you have
They
nothing to say
never mention in
between
the sub.
city and outpost and there,
Not really.
it
Not a whole lot happens.
yeah, no,
It's mostly like individual battles where the bounty hunter brothers slowly get pecked off one by one.
yeah, that happens.
Yeah.
Well, the band of bounty hunters because
Yeah.
Layla.
Yeah, she's the spoilers. We're gonna get there anyway. She's the only survivor.
Yeah, and at some point during this whole thing, D and Layla talk, and she's like, "The only thing I fear is not being
Yeah,
mourned if I
this
die."
is that is after D collapses from sun exposure, too much sunlight because he's still half vampire, and
Yeah, he
literally Layla
overheats.
has to fight weird monster girl who she stabs in the head with a dagger, and like it was weird because she gets killed by a lightning bolt.
I don't know. I don't know. But anyway, so once we get to the scene of Dee talking, actually he actually talks to her. He actually like this is I
Yeah, they have a
appreciate Dee's
conversation.
character and she actually loves him. I mean, yes, she's stupid and young and naive, but she actually loves Meyer, the vampire that had kidnapped her. And then Layla, which was angry lady in my notes for most of the movie, slaps the shit out of her. Like you stupid bitch kind of thing. Like
Oh yeah, that was
it,
nice.
oh,
I
and
did,
then we had the too much sun after this
yeah,
scene.
but
But just yeah.
I did like that moment because she and Dee made a deal. If she dies, Dee would go and put a flower on her grave, and if he died, she'd do the same for him.
Yes, and I found but during that whole too much sun thing, it didn't happen in the desert when he was walking through the desert at midday.
Well,
No, in this shaded grove.
it's just due to the amount of time he has spent in the sun. He literally has not stopped. He has not
Yeah,
rested. He
that's
has just
fair.
continued to move. So he's been through deserts and all this, and it eventually catches up to him.
Uh, like a cumulative, yeah. And then we have like this trigger-inducing scene of flashing lights, seizure-inducing craziness. But we also get Layla's backstory a little bit, where
Mm.
she you find out her mom fell in love with a vampire. That whole thing was changed, and then the town stoned her to death. Which, what kind of vampire is she to a allow that to happen, newly changed or not, and b actually die from a bunch of villagers with rocks, and
Well,
c where was vampire lover?
literally the whole thing is that, well, Layla's the story that Layla tells is that her mom was taken by the vampire, and her dad went to go kill the vampire that kidnapped her mom, and the vampire killed her dad.
Yeah, but
And
still.
so that's what happened. That just her mom's
And then she
mom
came
got
back to the
killed.
village and was stoned by the villagers.
Yeah,
Not
well,
the
I
good
mean,
kind of stone, not like
yeah.
son,
So
dude.
yeah, but that's yeah. Those are any other questions or comments you have?
Look, the
Mine
whole
mostly
bridge thing,
oh
man.
mine mostly just
Bridge.
focuses
How
on
did they
the spaceship
how did they get ahead to plant the bombs on the bridge? How?
movie movie magic.
Okay. And then did you notice I didn't okay, like it was clear that D was the hero ish of this movie
Yeah,
and the hunters like they were look, I didn't like the way they mocked Meyer's devotion to Catherine. Catherine, I think her name was Catherine.
it's very weird. It was very odd.
Because on the
The
bridge, like he gets out of the carriage to try to save her. It's the middle of the day. He starts
yeah
burning, and he still's trying to save her, and then mock him like he wasn't trying to hurt them. He wasn't. He was just trying to
no
save his human girlie.
yeah
That like even though I wasn't like it's a predictable type of scenario. If there's any human vampire movies with a human and a vampire falling in love, you have something like that. The vampire, ancient creature that can live without any sort of human interaction, nearly sacrificing their immortal life to save their mortal lover. Like you see it, you actually expect to see it. We kind of talked about that with the plot episodes and the common themes and things, but still, it was just bullshit the way the hunters mocked him.
he's a
Was
vampire.
he really was he really bad? I'll get to that. I'll get to that. And then the whole fight with the
He murdered
werewolf
a
with the
town.
belly mouth.
Murdered a town because they were mean.
You
He turned in.
know,
He didn't. He
if
could have
I
killed them.
was a
He turned.
vampire, I probably would have done the same thing. Not gonna lie, humans are shitheads sometimes.
Still a vampire. Still a monster. Still a horrible
That's
creature that
that's
drinks the
fair.
blood of human beings.
Okay, and then we could go to the whole castle that houses a rocket to go to space, where we have our
I
big showdown.
with the countess that was killed by the vampire king because
Look,
he was tired of her
but
shit.
she was still corporeal. The Countess
Well,
Camellia. But she was
That's
still
okay.
there.
That
She
is
was
that is basically would be the, if you know about
like a
like vampire
vampire
lore.
ghost.
Well, if you know about vampire lore, like a vampire's not dead just because you put a stake to their heart. They're just
Depends on which lore
incapacitated.
you're going for.
Almost all lore about vampires, if they're a powerful vampire, they're not dead. Just like Dracula. Dracula's never dead. Dracula is just put into a sleep. That's why they just almost all vampire lore, the stronger the vampire, they're not dead. Even in like Underworld, the vampire elders, they're not dead. They're just mummified corpses, but they're not
They
dead.
died pretty well when dismembered and exploded and
Well,
burned
yeah,
and
but when they're just staked, they're not dead.
those weren't
They're
staked. They were the elders were put
they're
through a
the
ritual of
elders.
rest,
The elders are they're husks though. When you see
but they're
them, they
not
literally,
staked.
no,
They're
but
not.
they're still a dried up
Yes,
husk. My
yes,
point
they were
is that
sleeping.
in
Yes,
most vampire lore, they're not dead just because they're staked. If you give a vampire blood, they can come back. That's usually
yeah,
why the lore is they stake them, they cut their heads off, and they burn the bodies. It's so
and
that the
sometimes the
vampire
heart,
cannot come
you
back.
know,
Yeah, the
take
entire
out the
purpose.
heart and burn it too. But yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
with her, that it felt like her spirit lived on, and that was what maintained the castle. I am just questioning who the hell cleans the castles. That castle
I
was
don't know.
spotless.
It was magic, dude, magic. Maybe the what was the name of the group of monsters?
I don't know.
The Barbaroi.
Yeah, but pretty much
Look,
yeah.
I have a
The
note that says wait, axe question mark, kill vampire question mark. I
yeah,
don't remember what axe killed what vampire. I don't remember.
the axe killed Link. He was killed by the Duchess. She made an illusion to look like Vampire Hunter D.
Yeah, 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 that's right,
Yeah,
that's right. But
yeah.
and then there was the whole bats thing, and that was weird.
Well,
And
vampires turn into bats.
not all of them though, but
You're just you're that's part of the lore. If you know vampire lore, yeah, it's part of the lore. Everything that happened is part of vampire
there's
lore.
lots of times in this movie where Meyer could have turned into a cloud of bats and avoided a lot of problems, but you know.
Maybe he's not strong enough to do it,
And
or
then
maybe he just didn't.
we see D hallucinating about his own mother.
Which, yeah, she loved her father, or she loved his father, and she's like, I know you hate me for bringing me in the world. Whatever. He cuts through her, ends the illusion he was trapped in. Uh,
Yeah.
there's that
And
battle.
then we get the battle and the illusions that Camellia does for
Yeah,
Blondie and yeah.
I
And
thought it was interesting that she was trying to drag out V's inherent vampiric nature, and he literally overpowers her.
yeah, I
Because
found it very
yeah,
cool cuz he's like you want the
yeah,
blood and
you find out that like D is the son of the vampire king.
yeah.
That's his thing. That's
Yeah.
his shtick. He's the son of the
That's
vampire king. He's
he's
basically a
strong
vampire
boy.
god. Yeah,
Pretty much, pretty much. And then like during this whole thing is Myers just struggling to not feed off of his girly. And then when they're there, surrounded by candles and roses, then he finally bites her. And I'm just like, why now? Like if you were struggling this why now? I don't I don't know. I don't know.
I don't know.
And then like I don't know. And then when D and Myers are having their big showdown. Great fight. Look, I was not a big fan of the animation style of this movie,
No, I
but
don't
it was
like the
still
style.
I don't like the big eyes, long
Yeah,
face,
it's very
heavily ink.
it was based off the 80s manga, so
Yeah, but I mean, it was still a great movie to watch. It was
yeah,
entertaining. It wasn't bad. It just was the style was not my preferred
yeah.
style. And the D intentionally missed Myers' heart. He intentionally did
Yes,
not
he
kill
he
him.
let him he let him go because he got the ring he needed, which proved that the girl was dead. So that's
Yeah. Look, look, you're right. And then the all of Blondie's crewmates die on her. She's all
yeah, like
by
I said, they all
herself.
they all
Yeah.
yeah, she's the last one alive. The end
And
of the
then
movie is very
Myers
odd.
is in his gets
Yeah,
in his
he
rocket.
takes her corpse into the spaceship and they go off into space. And Blondie's yelling "fly," and I just kept yelling "explode." Every time she yelled "fly," I yelled "explode." I just wanted the ship to blow up.
I liked how Blondie up until the last minute, like Dee was clearly like, "Look, I'm just trying to do
He
my
didn't give a
job."
fuck.
No, but I felt Dee actually cared for the girl's choice in this because he could have taken her right then and there when he
Yeah,
talked to her.
he could have
He
done it
could have.
any time, but he wanted to know why she wanted to go with him.
You can see that human part of Dee there, and
Yeah,
he's like, "Look, I get it. You're young and dumb, but I get it. I get it." And yeah, and then we have our ending pretty much, and he flies off, and then Dee gets the ring, and they pretty much part ways, and we get credits, and yay,
yeah.
vampires go to space.
The there is one more moment that was really nice, which was
After the credits,
he yeah he went to a funeral where you see a young blonde girl and she kind of runs up and she's like, "Oh, are you the one that Grandma Layla told us about?" And because you find out basically, D waited when she died. He
X
found
amount
her.
of years until
Yeah, he
she
found
passed
her
away.
and he went and he was like, she's like, "Aren't you gonna go say hi or whatever?" And he's like, "No, there. I was just coming to deliver a flower, but it looks like there's more than enough flowers." I was
Yeah,
like, "No, that's
she
nice
was
of
not
him."
alone.
Yeah, yeah. He kept his
He
promise.
fulfilled
He
his
kept his
promise,
promise. Yeah.
and it was sweet. It was very sweet. It was,
Well, I
you
mean,
know,
he's
like
immortal. What is he gonna do?
he fulfilled his promise, and I thought that was neat. Like I
Yeah.
really did. And
Even
hopefully
Handoff was
Myers
like,
and whatever his kidnapped girlie are living as immortal vampires in the
"No,
stars.
she's
I
dead. She's dead. There's no,
shh.
she's
He
dead."
brought her back.
No,
Shh.
no. He went off to the
Shh.
stars to mourn his the death of his lover.
Shh. Shh.
That's what happened.
He
I'm sorry.
he brought her back. It was fine.
That's what happened. So, a couple of interesting things
Look,
before we get to
I
the
don't
end of this film.
I don't think Myers was technically a bad vampire. Like
No,
there
he
was
was
times that
decent-ish.
he could have done a lot worse with the powers he had. He didn't like when he even went to the, I almost said bourgeoisie, and I know that's not it. It's not the
No,
bourgeoisie.
no.
He
I
went
know
to the
he didn't do the.
Berderoy. He
Yeah,
said, "I just want protection." He didn't say, "I want all of them dead." He said, "I just want to get here with this girl alive." I mean, he
yeah.
lost, but
Some interesting things. Vampire Hunter D Bloodlust. It was made in 2000. It was produced by Studio Madhouse, which
which
I
makes
know
awesome stuff.
someone here really likes Madhouse. Some of the things that they've did that people might know about, they did Trigun, Cardcaptor Sakura. They did Boogie Pop Phantom, Sakura Wars, Hajime no Ippo, Beyblade, which is interesting. They did
Very.
Chobits, Magical Shopping Arcade, Abenobashi. Like they've done a ton. I'm just trying to give out some of the ones people might
It
know.
was written to. It was written
Gungrave,
to.
Gunslinger Girl, Tenju Tenge, Paranoia Agent, Monster. I'm not done. There's so many that they've actually done, and like it's crazy. They did Black Lagoon. I know. They did Death Note,
Black Lagoon was
Claymore.
an interesting one.
Yeah, they did Black Lagoon. They did Maple Story, which is interesting. They did Common No Maid Guy. I actually know that one, which is odd to say, but yes, I know that one. They did Marvel Anime, Hunter x Hunter, Batum. These are the 2010s ones. Holy crap. What else have they? No Game, No Life. I really wish they'd bring that back. I'm really annoyed. Parasite the Maxim, Death Parade, Overlord, One Punch Man. Yeah, yeah,
A lot.
yeah, yeah,
A lot. And let's
yeah.
see, it was written, directed, and storyboarded by Yoshikaki Kiraji and
Yoshiaki Kawajiri, who is a writer and director of many Japanese animes. Some of his films are Wicked City, Neo Tokyo, Demon City, Shinjuku, Ninja Scroll, The Animatrix.
a lot.
Yeah,
And Yutaka Minawa, and also was
yes,
somebody who works with Madhouse,
yeah.
and they work together
Yutaka,
a lot on
yeah.
things.
Yutaka Minawa is a character designer and animation director. He did the 5 stories record of the Record of Lotus War, Ninja Scroll, Outlaw Star, The Animatrix, Blade, and Space Pirate Captain Harlock.
The film is based on the third novel of Hideyuki hold on.
Kikuchi.
Kikuchi.
Yeah.
I got it. Hideyuki's Kikuchi Vampire Hunter D series Demon Death Chase. And
Yeah.
how many wolf mouth belly werewolves will you give this 1 out of 10?
No, I'm not giving it
No, you
any
don't like
wolf mouth.
that one?
No.
No, which one are you going to use then?
No, I'm gonna give it
Drugged out psychics?
yeah, I'm gonna give it like 8 drugged out psychics.
You're going to give it 8?
Yeah.
I'll give it a 7. No, I'll give it an 8. I'll agree with you on that one. It was not I don't really
It's not
like the
perfect.
animations.
Yeah.
I don't like the
yeah.
animation style, but the animation was solid.
The
If that
animation
makes
was
any
solid.
sense.
I'm a fan of the fact that it was very well drawn. It didn't use or rely a lot on like 3D, even though it could have
Yeah,
in the early 2000s. They could have relied on it, but they chose not
it
to.
was a
It was
solidly
nice.
decent movie, and you could
Little,
watch it standalone and still
yeah,
enjoy it.
little slow, little slow. The pacing could have been a little bit better. But yeah, 8 out of 10. It was decent. It was pretty decent.
Solidly decent, One
Yeah,
of those things and stuff and things. But yeah, definitely if you haven't
worth a
seen this
watch.
one, it's worth a watch. At least one watch. For sure.
I think its
But
rating is like 7 point something on my anime list too. So we're in agreement with most people.
okay, her name is Charlotte now that I'm
Yeah,
looking at this article. But yeah, it was good. It was good.
I thought it was decent.
Good
I thought
stuff.
it was decent.
Yeah.
Definitely
And
8 drugged out psychics worth.
8 drugged out psychics, indeed. All right, I think that's going to about wrap it up for our post show this time.
Yes. Thank you
Yes,
all
it
for
is.
watching. Thank you for being here.
Next
Thank you for
week is
being
a
our
wild card
patrons.
pick. Yes.
Yes, next week's wild card pick. We'll
If
see
you're
what
here.
happens with it. If you hear your family, thank you for
Yes.
stopping by.
My wild card movie pick is Mary and the Witch's Flower.
Mine's One Piece.
That's a One Piece. Which movie?
Better no Matsuri.
Which means
In the Secret Island. That's just his
there
name.
you go. I don't know.
That's just his name. His name's
Some buddy in the secret island with pirates and One Piece. And
it's wonderful.
Yay. I don't know. It might be good, but if you're watching this, you probably want to vote for my movie, though. Just saying. Yeah. But anyway, thanks for watching. DC, take us out.
Thank you for watching. Thank you for being here. We'll see you later. Take care. Thank you for being
Bye-bye.
our patrons. Have a good one. Goodbye. Bye.